Australia is pushing ahead then with the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, even without the United States. Does the TPP have a future without the United States?
Well, first, thanks for having me on the show. You know, the next big meeting is going to be in March in Chile. Canada said we'll be at any table anywhere where we can progress the net benefit of Canada. I said very publicly, we owe it to the Canadian families, Canadian worker, to have a strong position in the Asia-Pacific region. We're very much a Pacific nation. As you said, we had a good week last week with the free trade agreement with Europe. I think we spoke with a strong voice for open trade. And that's very positive. So this week we're engaging with our Australian colleagues and New Zealand colleagues to see what we can do together in the Asia-Pacific region. That's a very important region. You know, trade is over decades, so we certainly want to play a constructive role in looking at that for the future.
Minister, you mentioned the meeting in Chile, so the TPP -1, as it's been dubbed. What are your realistic expectations from that meeting?
Well, we're going to go there with an open mind. I mean, we're open to different initiatives that may be presented. Obviously, I'm talking to my Australian counterpart, my New Zealand counterpart. Like I said, Canada will be at any table, anywhere in the world where we can progress our relationship and our position in the Asia-Pacific. This is very much important for Canada. This is a huge market. You know, trade is over decades, so we need to make sure that we have the right footprint to be able to trade in this very important part of the world. And Canada, you know, we have this progressive trade agenda. That's what you saw in the free trade agreement with Europe. I think this is the most progressive trade agreement in the world, the gold standard that is being referred to. So we're going to be out there still advocating for a progressive trade agenda on this side of the Asia-Pacific region now.
And, Minister, you say you'll be at any table. The Chinese table, that's much talked about, of course. You're in exploratory trade talks with China. What stage have they got to? Do you have a delegation on the ground in China at the moment, or will you send one soon?
Well, our official, you know, following the Leaders' Summit, where they met with Prime Minister Trudeau and the leadership of China, we have engaged with officials. We're very much in the early stage. We said we'll take it step by step. Now, what we're looking with China is whether and how we should be contemplating that. So we are in the early stage. We are discussing at the official level. And we'll also launch public consultation because, you know, Canada said we want to engage with people. We want to be an open and transparent partner. That's also part of making trade real for people, always focusing on people, making sure that civil society can be heard, that we can see what could be the concerns, what could be the opportunities. So we'll be engaging at the official level, but we'll also be engaging with Canadians in the weeks and months to come.
What's the future of NAFTA from your perspective then, Minister? Does it serve your purposes to do as much bilaterally with the United States as possible and to cut Mexico out?
Well, you know, NAFTA includes the 3 countries. I think I was encouraged by the comment from President Trump when he referred to tweaks to NAFTA. As you know, NAFTA has been amended a number of times. This is an agreement that is more than 2 decades old. Take, for example, e-commerce did not exist. But it's also, for me, an acknowledgement of the breadth and depth of our relationship. As you know, Canada and the U.S. exchange about $2.4 billion in goods and services every day. There's like 35 states in the United States which depend on Canada as the direct export market. You have obviously 400,000 people which cross the border every day. So I think there's an acknowledgement that we just don't sell to each other, we make things together. And for me, this was very encouraging because this is an agreement that has been good for the middle class. President Trump run on a platform to work for the middle class. And what I can say about NAFTA is that this is good. It has provided millions of good middle-class jobs on both sides of Canada and the United States. Many of the goods that you find on the shelves would cross the border many times before they end up in a country or the other one.
Okay.
So I took his comment to say that we start from a very strong basis.
But, Minister, your economy is very different to the Mexican one. Does it not make sense to rip up NAFTA? It is, as you say, decades old. Rip it up and do a bilateral deal instead? Well, NAFTA has been working well. I mean, if you look at the supply chain in North America, it's very much integrated.
So it has been working well for our countries. I think that we have been able to achieving good growth with respect to NAFTA in every country. I can talk from the Kenyan perspective. This has been a very good agreement. Like I said, if you look at the way things are made in North America, it's very much integrated. And like I said last week, what we saw is an acknowledgement of the importance of that relationship, that 9 million U.S. jobs are dependent on Canada. Canada is the largest customer to the United States. We are also the first energy supplier to the United States, whether it's oil, gas, or electricity. So we're very much a partner in that, and this has been very beneficial for the middle class and jobs on both sides of the border.